All right, so let me welcome you all to this session. So this is so whenever a student hits a perfect score, we try to get on a call with the student so that she or he can share her experience. So this is one such session. So Samida was preparing for PTA for quite some time, and she got a perfect score in her PT attempt. So I think it was the third attempt. So let me also show the score report. All right, so this is the score report. So she got a 90 in listening, 89 in reading, 90 in speaking, and 90 in typing. And her overall score is also 90. So getting a 90 is an achievement because it's not something that everyone gets. It's something that we should actually explore and celebrate. So there are certain techniques that she must have used. There are certain ways in which she has approached certain questions. So the session is basically to help all in this session to ask her questions and basically try to figure out what's the best way. All right, so over to you, Samita. So I would request you to start with a brief introduction. So, what exactly do you do? What's your professional, personal life? So, if you could just talk about it for the first 5 minutes, would be really great. Let me unmute. Hey, Samita, you can speak now.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So, this journey for PT has started for me in the month of June this year only, because earlier I was focusing on IELTS and just thought of switching to PT. And then I downloaded this app of Fountainhead Prep and got a message from Ambarish that you can go for diagnostic tests and then you can realize what are your weak areas and everything. Well, to introduce myself, I am a working professional, having two kids at home and working in a corporate with Monday to Friday, totally packed with obviously workload and everything. And I have two kids, so I have a lot of responsibilities at home and as well. But then, as it was my target to crack it, so I somehow managed time. During weekdays, I mostly gave around half an hour in the evening and half an hour in the morning sometimes to practice few of the questions which I thought was my weak areas. And these all weak areas were identified by Ambarish in my diagnostic test. And he gave me a confidence that yes, I am capable of doing this PT. And then I started my journey. So in those tests, all in that test itself, he diagnosed a lot of things which needed a lot of improvement in terms
All,
of.
all right, Samita. So yeah, so to summarize what Samita just said, so Samita, so basically this is one thing that everyone in this room should understand. So Samita is a working professional. She is a mother of two kids, so she's a working mother. So like most of you here, so most of the students who use our platform are working professionals. They have tight schedules, Monday to Friday, someone works, and there are certain people who work on Saturdays and Sundays as well. So it's very important to find time for this as well. So and we have had working mothers previously, and it's amazing to see that someone with a lot of responsibilities take out time from their busy schedule and their personal life to prepare for this. So, how much time do you normally devote per day? And one other thing that I wanted to tell you is that Samira is probably, uh, one of the very few students who have explored that our platform completely. I think she must have done most of the exams. I think 80-90% of the exams that we have in our platform. We have quite a number of exams that in our platform, and then she has done almost 80-90% of it,
Yeah.
right?
It's around 180 attempts. I mean, 180 question types and plus including the mock tests.
Right, right. All right. So I would request all of you to pitch in. Maybe you can start with a congratulatory message and then start asking your questions. So let's try to make this. So this is your session, guys. So please make use of it. You must have. I mean, I think I can see a lot of students who are already in their preparation phase. You have started your preparation. So if in case you have any specific doubts, please start asking questions. So you can keep on posting your questions. In the meantime, I will maybe
I
ask
think
her.
Nitin has asked a question about the journey. So it's my
Uh-huh.
third attempt. Nitin,
All
hi,
right.
thank you so much.
Okay.
It was my third attempt. In my first attempt, before my first attempt, I had already given the official mocks
Okay.
with the help of Ambarish, and he has also given me guidance for recording those sessions. And then he analyzed each and every question. And in the mock test, also, I lagged in few areas. So he told me how to get out of those, means to overcome those weaknesses.
So what was your score in the first attempt, Samita?
Yeah, yeah. In my first attempt, it was I crossed reading and speaking. In speaking, it was 90. In reading, it
Mm-hmm.
was 84, and
Mm-hmm.
in listening and writing, it was 78 and 75.
Yeah, so it was so close, right?
Yeah, it was too close. And
Okay.
then, of course, Ambarish helped me in listening and writing score too.
Now tell me something. Now, before taking this first attempt, what was your confidence level? Like, were you like fully confident before taking the test? Or was it like, oh, I
Uh,
just have to get done with this exam, so let me give this attempt.
yeah, because I had practiced a lot, means regarding the mock test in FHP and official mocks also. So I was confident that I would be able to do, but I was not completely sure because in any of the official mocks also I had not crossed 79 plus in all the sections. So that was
Mm-hmm.
my fear inside me, and maybe there were few sections which were a little bit tough for me at that time. Repeat sentence was one of them.
Okay. So basically, you were not very confident with some of the question types.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
as you said, repeat sentence, you were not very confident.
Hmm.
Any other question types?
Other WFD also.
That is right from dictation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And these two are like question type that carries a lot of weightage.
Yeah, this is what my experience says now, because in the last attempt where I scored the perfect one, these two were perfect, and apart from that, they were before all other questions were already perfect. So I think
Okay.
this was the hitch which made me cross.
Perfect. So basically, the lesson here is that if you have even slightest of doubt with certain question types, it's best to invest a bit more time and then get completely confident and then take the exam.
Yeah.
Right now, after this, you went for the second attempt, right?
Yeah,
So
my
you
first and
worked.
second attempt, the difference in both those attempts were just 15 days. I thought that it's just a matter of luck, so I must try it again. So I
Mhm.
went after 15 days and I got the same score again. That
Okay,
means,
so all right. So in this 15 days, did you prepare anything?
yeah, I practiced a little more on essays, summarize spoken
Okay.
text.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that SST is maybe listening and writing is related to SST. So I thought
Mm-hmm.
that maybe I'm lacking in that section.
All right, fine. And you pretty much got the same score again, right?
Yeah, yeah, again.
So this time around, what was the impression that you had? As in, after giving the test, what was it? As
Wait,
in,
that's what it was the same feeling because I thought that I was scared during the exam. I
mm,
um I think it basically depends on your mindset. When you are going
Very
for the
good.
exam, you have to be really very confident and be cool, because then
Yes.
when you're stressed, and maybe in my second and first attempt for the, especially for the repeat sentence thing, whenever I could not listen to a single sentence, and then I would mess up all, like because I'm stressed. So suppose I have missed one sentence, then I would think that I would miss all, and then because of the stress I miss the words also sometimes. So this was the main reason I could
All
not
right.
crack it that
All
time.
right. So you got speaking score of 90 in the second attempt as well, right?
Yeah.
All right. So one important thing to note here is that, see, if you can get a perfect score in speaking, it doesn't mean that you have done everything perfectly all right in speaking. Please understand this. You can do a number of mistakes in speaking, especially in repeat sentence, and still get a 90 if you maintain the flow, right? But
Yeah,
if
right.
you're missing words, that will affect your listening score.
Hmm.
Same goes with read aloud. All right. So after this, you gave the third attempt,
Right.
in which you got the perfect score.
Hmm.
So after how many days you gave the third attempt?
I took around 3 months, 2.5 months more.
2.5 months. So were you preparing these
Yeah,
2.5 months? So what exactly were
yeah,
you preparing?
or almost half an hour daily. I used to practice repeat sentence. Right
Oh,
from means alternatively, one day repeat sentence, another day right from dictation, and on the weekend I would take a mock test. I would take a mock test from FHP only,
okay.
and again I attempted one more mock test for crossing listening in one more official mock test, and at that time
Mm-hmm.
I got 89 in listening. So I realized that when I gave the official mock test, my repeat sentence and WFD were correct. So I got
Mm-hmm.
a perfect listening score
Mm-hmm.
and writing score also. So then I realized that yes, these two matter a lot. And for me, I'm stressing on those two because for all other sections, it was almost good for me. Like
Mm-hmm. Good.
essays, summarize written text, summarize spoken text. In summarized spoken text, if you write all major keywords and make a good frame of sentences, you will get through.
Super. All right. So basically, the entire thing took about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, right?
Yeah.
All right. Super. Do we have any specific question? Oh, we have. Super. So they are okay. Yes, is asking how much time you spend a day in practice.
Yeah, that's what I told. After office, half an hour
Mm-hmm.
while traveling to home,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes in the morning also half an hour. So not more than that.
So basically, you ensure that you practice something daily, right?
Yeah, 15 to 20 is okay. Repeat sentence daily if you do.
Okay. So daily, so especially, question types like repeat sentence and WFD, if you practice daily, it's going to help you a lot.
And one thing I won't tell you, you can
Mm-hmm.
follow YouTube videos, but
Mm-hmm.
then I don't think they are very accurate. You
Mm-hmm.
can practice that. I'm not denying that, because just for making your mind used to listen to sentences and repeat that. But to
Mm-hmm.
trust the sources, I would suggest only FHP, because the the website, the platform which Amarish has given is having the questions which are actually related to the exam. So it won't have much errors, obviously, and it also has different accents. If you
All
listen
right.
to YouTube videos, they'll have a similar accent. So it is very easy to repeat.
Mm. All right. So yeah, basically in repeat sentence and WFD, it's all about you practicing more and more. The more you practice, the better you get at it. Now one thing that I think a lot of students will have this question in their mind, that how exactly do you practice for repeat sentence? Is it just listening? Is it something that you note down, or you get lengthy sentences. So how do you manage those lengthy sentences? So
Yeah.
you said that in your third attempt you were 100% correct in both RS
Yeah.
and WFD, right?
Yeah.
So getting 100% correct in RS is is a bit challenging. Okay, it's not that it's not something that everyone can achieve. So
No.
what exactly was your strategy in preparing for
Yeah.
RS? Yeah.
Yeah. For repeat sentence, mine was not 100% accurate. Sorry to say, it was around 80%.
ठीक है.
So my strategy was, for suppose there were 10 sentences, so there are almost 5 to 6 sentences which are short and medium. So there are only 2 sentences which are long. So my state of mind was that I don't have to miss words when I miss the first word. So even if I miss the first word, I tried to listen the whole sentence, and according to the meaning, I could even guess the first word. So for the medium and short sentences, it was easier, but for long sentences, I didn't do it 100% right. I
So
missed few words. Yeah,
so
in
for
both.
short and medium sentences, what you are saying is you went with the meaning.
Yeah, try to get the meaning. Obviously,
Okay.
closing your eyes, and because
Uh-huh.
in
So
repeat sentence,
you
it was
you
like that.
basically close your eyes completely, listen to what the speaker is saying,
Yeah, yeah.
and try to understand the meaning, and then repeat it.
And then maybe you will guess the word which you have missed also.
Okay. Guess.
In short and medium sentences. In long sentences, don't worry. Even if you miss few words, it's okay. So it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. No. But for
Yes.
WFD, I would say yes. And my strategy was to write. I'll tell you my story of WFD.
Yeah.
Firstly, after in right from dictation, I used to close my eyes. I used to listen, same as repeat sentence. But I missed words. I replaced the words with another synonym. And in WFD, if you write a synonym, you will not get your marks, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it has to
So
be accurate.
yeah.
So so what I did was, just 2 3 days before the exam, I started writing the first sentence. You won't believe this, but I did it.
Would
Okay.
you please repeat, Samita? You started writing what?
Yeah. So as soon as I started writing, I didn't write the first letter. I write first 2 or 3 letters. First 2 or 3 letters of each word. And when I did this around for 50 or maybe 80 sentences in 2 days before my exam, and I found it really very helpful.
Okay. So could you please repeat this once again? What exactly was the strategy?
I'm saying, as soon as I'm listening the sentence,
Uh-huh.
I'm writing the first 2 or 3 letters of each word. So for example, it was any right from dictation.
Oh, okay. So you want me to use any
No,
right from
no,
dictation?
just I'm just trying to say that even if it's a
Okay. So let me,
if it's a
something. Would
and
you?
also, if you are
Okay.
writing
Would.
and also write an.
Uh-huh.
I wrote first 2 letters of each word.
Okay. So would you like tea, coffee, or just a glass of water? If that's the question. So what you're saying is you would just write.
Yeah, right, right.
Oh, okay.
Like this.
Oh,
So
but
what
then
happened?
it is a bit difficult for someone who starts doing this. As
I'm
in,
not
you have to get used
I'm
to it,
not
right? Yeah.
so I'm not saying it would work for everyone, but it worked for
Exactly.
me.
Super.
So
Yeah.
I tried this strategy. I tried this for around what that's what I'm saying, before the exam, around for 50 sentences.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that I am doing it accurately.
All right, super. So yeah, so this is a very good learning. So you have most of you here are above or maybe above 25 anyways. So you have a lot of learning experience that way. So this is something that I always tell. For repeat sentence and WFP, there are many methods. Okay, so and there isn't any universal method that you can apply for all students. So you have your own strong areas and weak areas. So you have to basically figure out which method works for you, and that's very, very important to figure out what works best for you. And so, Samida, I mean, this is a technique that I've never heard of before. Like, like I have heard, writing the first letter strategy, but that isn't a very robust method.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, so writing 2 to 3 letters of each word is a bit challenging. It's a bit challenging also. It's not something that everyone can do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys, if you want to, test this method, you guys can, try this for at least 20, 25 questions at least
Yeah.
to see whether it's really working out, because it takes that much amount of practice to understand whether it's really working out. And more, most importantly, if you, listen with an intent to understand, you will get it. That's the, you know, that's something that I've seen for, that works invariably for all students. All right, so that's very good, Samita. All right, so what strategy you followed in repeat sentence? Yes, so you got the answer for that. Can you share the stages of preparation you went through? For example, you started off directly with mock test or first understood the type of questions, etc. That's a very good question.
Yeah.
So,
I first understood the type of questions, of course, with the FHP website only. I started my preparation with this application itself, and I
you
understood the
took the
type of
test.
through diagnostic test, and after that, the Fountainhead preparation portal.
Okay, so the first step was to take the PG diagnostic test, understand all the question types. See, the good thing about taking a full-length mock test in the beginning phase of your preparation is that you might spend a lot of time scanning and searching through YouTube videos, articles to understand each question type. But the first-hand experience that you get by attempting a full-length mock test, nothing can beat that, and nothing
Yeah.
can replace that. So it's always advisable you start with taking a full-length mock test, and when you take that full-length mock test, you will frame your own understanding of the test. As in, okay, this frame image is something that I'm not really comfortable with. Maybe I have to spend a lot of time here, and that's an experience that you should have in the beginning phase of your preparation. It will help you a lot to focus on certain areas that you really need to work on. All right. And then you took these feedbacks and then started taking PT mock test. Is that right, Samida?
Yeah, yeah,
And then you also took official mock test.
yeah. Then I was confident because after practicing a lot of questions from the Fountainhead portal, I took official mock test.
All right. I hope that answered your question, Daya. Yesh is asking, in summarized written text, have you used the text from the questions and made up the summary?
Yeah, I used a lot of words from the text itself, and then made summary in a good frame of sentence. Yeah.
Okay. So if there is anything that is pending, then please let us know. Yes, Daya. Can we type in the text directly while the audio is still playing?
Yeah.
So your question is with regards to write from dictation. I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can we type in the text directly while the audio is still playing?
Yeah, we can type.
Yes, you can. Oh, you have already answered. In describe image, what was your strategy? Yes.
In describe image, mm, you don't have to focus much on the content. Yes, you can speak a little bit about it because there are few sentences which are already written there in describe image. Like for example, if it's a bar graph, then it will always be written what it is about. So for the first 10 seconds, you can say about that. Like Looking at this picture, I would like to say that this crowd, this but from this year to this year, and I didn't follow a template. You have to be confident. That's it. Your voice should not modulate. You should have a certain loud and clear voice. In speaking in all the sections, you have to be confident, and that's it. Your voice should not fall down and maybe not go much up. So it should be consistent, clear, loud. This was my strategy in whole speaking. It doesn't matter what you are speaking. Even if you say something wrong about the describe image year, or maybe you can say that America is more than Australia, it doesn't matter.
Good. Hope that answered your question, Yash. How to overcome exam fear? Okay, Kanika.
Okay. uh, so you have to believe in yourself. When you are practicing a lot, and when you know that you can do it, so your fear will automatically go. I have experienced this in my this attempt, and I feel that this time I was sure that I will do it, and this was the attitude with which I get, gave the exam, and this is the only answer for this question.
Yeah. So what was the difference? So this is something. So you said that in the first two exam you had this exam fear, right?
Yeah. In the first two attempts, I'll tell you that I had practiced a lot. I took leaves from my office. So
Mhm.
I was having this fear that if I don't clear this, then I don't know what will happen. It was something like
Uh,
this. So this time I thought, whatever happens, I'll just go and give it. Let's see. I am prepared. I know that. So this, and then I don't know. Maybe God was with me this time.
okay, so yeah, so the only way to overcome exam fear is to change the way you think. The change. I mean, the only way you can overcome exam fear is to change the attitude. Okay, so if you think too much about the exam, okay, this is I know why do I have to go through this? If you start thinking about all these things, then it will, it may not work out. So you should have an overall, positive feeling about the exam before going to the exam. So I have seen many students who don't even take a mock test; they just go to the exam, get 90 and all, and come back. So those are students who don't really worry about these things. Understand one thing very clearly, that it's an English proficiency test, and most of you more than who are okay. Let's forget about most of you. People who are average or above average, okay, so can score more than 80 easily in PTE. Now, when I say easily, they have to of course put a lot of effort, but then it's not something that is impossible. I've seen this with many students. So please have that self belief. So believe in yourself, as Samita rightly said. You have to have that self belief. That's the only way you can overcome exam fear.
And Ambarish
Uh,
always used to tell me, "You're worrying bit too much. You're worrying bit too much." So I
uh,
kept this in mind that I don't have to worry.
all right. So tell me something, Samita. If you have to, okay. So what is it that I wanted to ask you? Who asked this question basically? Kanika, right? Yeah. So could you please tell me, not Samita, this is to everyone else. How many of you have these exams here?
I'm not able to hear you properly. Come again.
Yeah. So this is not to you. This is for everyone else in this room. So
Okay.
how many of you have this exam fear? And what exactly is that you are worried about? If you could just type in, it would be really great for us to understand and maybe address those issues as well. Understand that you can have, so when you're saying you have this exam fear, you also have to explain why do you have this exam fear. What exactly is the problem? Why What's the reason behind that fear? If you can just tell us that. I mean, try to share this so that we can see. Okay, what if I do not get this score and not be able to go to Australia? Okay, all right. Others. So everyone have. I mean, this is the basic thing. Feel like not prepared. I can spend only 1 hour a day. Feel like not prepared. I can spend only 1 hour a day. I don't have exam fear mentally, but my stomach is sharing. Yeah, so we call it anxiety. In other words, is that so, Chandan? And have to appear in 15 days. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah. So everyone. So most of you have this, deadline that you. Okay. I don't have exams here, but I'm very good question types like read a lecture as my writing. So taking notes is slow. Yes. Okay. So I believe what I have from my experience, I can say this that if you're not 100% confident about any of the question types, you will have this fear. And that's what I think Samita rightly said. In the first few attempts, she had this exam fear. But after that, the way she had, gained that confidence in repeat sentence and writing dictation, I think that's something that might have pushed her, to come to that mental frame of mind. As in, okay, whatever happens, let it happen. I'm anyway going to give the test. So that's an attitude that everyone need to develop, and you can't just have it one fine day you wake up and then you have this attitude. No. You have to also put a lot of effort in practicing. Spend at least 30 minutes or 40 minutes a day so that you are in that exam zone. You are preparing yourself every day a bit to get to that level. I feel like I need to spend some hour in a day, but in real time unable to give time, but not getting fair to go for exam. Okay, fine. Also worried if not getting score in one, two, third attempt after few attempts, losing confidence in myself. Yes. So, so most of you don't think that they have exam fear. Basically, they are worried about what they are basically worried about the time crunch that they have. They think that you know they are not prepared enough. So if you are not, if you still think that you are not prepared enough, then you are not prepared enough. You should not write the exam. Only when you have that 100% confidence in all the question types, then only you should go and give the exam. Else you are taking a chance. As in, okay, you might cross 80 plus, you may not. That is the difference between people who are in the border. That is, people. There are people you will see that get 80, 81, everything, and then the way Samida has tracked it, she got a perfect score in everything except in reading. I think she got 89. So she has really understood all the question type and what exactly needs to be done. All right. So could you please share your thought on repeating sentence where you missed to grab two or three words from the computer? Oh, okay, 1 second. Okay, Samita. Oh, Samita, you are unmuted now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, repeating sentence, Galaxy N30. So that is something that we have already discussed. So we are anyways recording the session. So we'll send across the recording so that you can go through that once. Let's so please ask questions. No questions? All right. How do you prepare? How did you prepare for retail lecture?
For retail lecture again, you have to take a lot of notes. So practice is the key again. But for retail lecture again, this is part of speaking, right? So for
Yeah.
speaking, you have to be confident. Even if you miss few words from the lecture, it's okay. You just have to say like normal. You're speaking to someone and you're just telling a story to your friend. So be calm and natural and loud and clear. So this is the strategy in retail lecture. Retail lecture contributes to your listening, but not much. This is what my experience is, right, Ambarish?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, keywords are important. So because it's an integrated task, that is retail lecture is speaking plus listening. You can score high even if you don't speak anything about the content but maintain the flow. But if you're not speaking anything related to the content, that will have an impact on your listening score. Which is why it is very important to note down the keywords. So if the lecture is about
Sometimes lectures have firstly, secondly, thirdly points. So
correct.
it's best to note down those. Those are really important.
Right. So basically, note down the keywords and overall have an overall understanding of the text. And but primarily, what you have to understand is that do not think that you are speaking to a computer. Just imagine that you have just heard a lecture and then you are explaining that lecture to your friend in a bit formal manner. And Ramakant, okay, Ramakant, our name did not appear because, okay, fine. Nitin is asking, how do you decide if you are ready to rewrite the test as it's a costly attempt?
Yeah, by giving official mock test,
Okay,
by taking,
so
yeah. How do you score in the official one? And then you can decide whether you are ready or not. And of course, Ambarish can help you in this.
okay,
He
so
can help.
official mock test. What was the score that you got in official mock test?
I have attempted three mock tests once and then two twice. So it's like I have given 5 times
All
these
right,
things.
fine. Okay, so
So
yeah, so
sometimes,
the importance of giving official mock test is that it's graded by an actual software, um, and then the confidence that you get by attempting these mock tests uh, is something that nothing can replace that kind of confidence. Right. So did you score more than 80 in all the official mock tests?
yeah, one by one in each sections, not all
Okay.
together.
So in none of the mock test attempts, none of the official mock test attempts, you scored more than 80 in all.
In all, yeah.
Right. But you scored 80 plus in all in separate sections all the time.
Yeah.
All
Even
right.
I scored 90 in speaking, 89 in writing, 89 in listening, and 85 in reading.
Right. So the only downside with official mock, no, it's very good. The only downside with official mock test is that there are certain best practices that you have to follow. If you don't follow that, then your speak mostly it affects the speaking part. Your speaking score, falls to a certain level, and that will impact your reading and listening score also. So it's very important to understand what the best practices are, and also the other problem is that you give the mock test, official mock test, you get a score at the end of it. You won't get a chance to understand where you went wrong. So it's always advisable that you record your screen activity so that you can come back and review. And when you review also, it's best to get it analyzed so that you can clearly understand, okay, these are the mistakes that I have made, and that is why my score is this. All right.
What is in
Yeah, Samita, the voice is breaking.
you must practice those.
Yeah, Samita, could
So
you please repeat your voice?
my voice is breaking.
Yes, now
Hello.
it's fine. Now it's fine.
Okay, I'm saying the mock tests in the Fountainhead Prep app should yeah are also very good, and you could get it analyzed through him, and then you will also gain confidence.
All right, super. Princess. So Yash, I think your question is answered. So Princess is asking, are the number of words has much importance for essays or summarized written text? Oh, sorry, Abhinav, sorry. Abhinav is asking the number of words, word count basically. Does that play any role in essays or summarized written text? Also, does the word count appears while typing? Yes, the word count appears while typing. But yeah, does the word count matter, Abhinav, in essays and summarized written text?
Summarized written text, it should be a single sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So in a single sentence, how much you can write? I mean, it should be less than. I'm not sure about the word count
Mm-hmm.
in
So basically, you are
SWT.
not really worried about word count. That's what
Yeah,
it means, right? Yeah.
not very much. Yes,
Right.
because it has to be a
So
single sentence.
correct.
And in
The
essay, okay, you were saying something.
yeah. So SWT the word limit is 5 to 75, but typically if you can write something around 45 to 50, I would say that's more than enough. Even you can write a very good summary in 30 to 35 words.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all about, how you should not complicate a sentence. Okay. So anyone who reads the sentence should understand the meaning of the sentence plus the keywords. Okay. So if the passage is talking about, fair trade policy, throughout, if it's talking about fair trade policy, you cannot really afford to miss that.
Essay around 225 words,
Essay,
25
okay.
to 30.
Super. Essay, that's around 225. Yeah. So you've really written, short essay. You should see Samida's, essays. Those are like really, really short, to the point, precise, simple essays, but very good essays.
Yeah, you can share them if they want to see.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I will mark those as best responses in the platform, so that people can see that. All right. So do we have? Okay. So I think we touched upon a lot on speaking and writing. Okay, so we have, what about MCMA? So Ramya is asking, what about MCMA?
MCMA in reading. Don't
MCMA in reading or listening, Ramya?
reading. So MCMA reading is quite typical. Don't guess answers. It's negative marking. And to honestly tell you, in this exam, in this exam where I attempted the perfect score, I just skipped this question because it was taking too much time, and it's peanuts. It doesn't give much. It doesn't give much
Okay.
addition to
So,
your
so
to your
MCMA,
score.
you're saying that you skipped the question, as in you did not even attempt the question.
No, because it was taking a lot of time,
Uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
I was not able to take the right answer because it was really lengthy and tough. So, and I
So when you
realized
say
that
you skipped the question, you
I
did not
didn't.
even,
Yeah, I didn't answer it.
you didn't answer it. Oh,
No.
okay. Yeah. So this is something I would not really advise. Yeah, if it's taking too much time, then you can. So
Because I
this
was
is
more worried about the other questions which were important. So that's why.
yes, yeah, I can understand that. So it's not really advisable to skip any question, but what this actually tells us is that you can make a lot of mistakes also in reading in all the sections and still get a perfect score. So certain amount of errors are acceptable. So if you can focus on the very important question type, and if you think, so it's a wise decision she took at that particular point of time, because she knew that okay, she's running out of time, so it's best to maybe skip this question so that I can focus more on reading till the time. So again, that that kind of choice making happens only once you're confident, once you have done lot of practice, and that's it. So that's a very important point that you've mentioned, Sajida. Yeah, but I wouldn't really advise to skip any question.
I'm sorry to say that, but I really did this because I was confident about the other answers, like reading, writing, fill in the blanks, reading, fill in the blanks. All were, I think I was very confident that they were correct. So that's why I skipped this.
Okay. Yeah, so is the pattern for writing essays same as information key, 1, 2, 3 subjects and conclusion, MCMA, or in both the cases, units? Okay, so I wouldn't really, say respect the exam, guys. It's very, very important, so it takes a lot to, design a test. um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really, um, okay, so can we skip questions in BD? No. Uh, I would not really advise to skip questions. It's a wise decision that comes with experience. Um, and if you are like really confident with all the other question types, then maybe you can skip. So with Samida, I was very sure that if she knows that okay, she even if she skips this question, she has this confidence that she is going to make all other questions correct.
Oh,
Now, do you
even
have that kind of confidence? Is the question.
I skipped because I thought if I guess it may be wrong. So
Ah,
that's why I did that. It
okay,
was taking a lot of time, yeah.
okay, fine. Okay, so writing essay. Writing essay also we have spent some time in simplifying the essays, right? Samida, did
Yeah.
we? Yeah, so yes, she's asking, is the pattern for writing essays same as information key, 1, 2, 3 subject and conclusion?
Key 1, 2, 3 subject.
I
Okay,
have no idea.
introduction. I think Barish can tell you a little bit more detail about the introduction, body paragraph, conclusion, and the pattern we should follow in essays, so that we have to
Right,
address the question. We have to answer the question. That is more important rather than writing here and there.
right. So keep it, simple was the strategy that I think, that's a strategy that I usually recommend to all students. And I think that's something that, Samira has also followed for her essay. Keep it very simple, and this is something that I want to tell all of you. Don't think that a higher number of word count will fetch you more marks. No, if you write just above 200, and if you write just below 300, it's going to be equally awarded, for that word count. So anything between 200 to 300 is completely fine. Now, if you write something very close to 220 to 40 words, um, and if you are writing exactly on the topic, then you are leaving very less room for deviating from the topic. So that is why we typically recommend a word count that is usually around 220. And then yeah, follow the pattern like 4 paragraphs. You start with intro, then you have 2 body paragraphs, and you have conclusion. Understand that introduction and conclusion will be the shortest, and body paragraphs will be having more word count. Oh yeah, very good. Okay, super. Daya, can you highlight the most important question types, starting from the ones that contribute highest points, like the integrated type? Okay, Samita.
Uh, Integrated type, most important question types. So for speaking, read aloud. Read aloud is important. very important. And speaking, actually, all speaking sections are very important. You have to be consistent, loud, and clear. Read aloud is more important because you have to be very accurate while reading. You don't skip words, you don't miss words. Okay. And then for repeats and for listening, repeat sentence, WFT, summarize spoken text are very important. Summarize spoken text, repeat sentence, and write from dictation. Okay. And then for writing also, for writing, reading, writing, fill in the blanks, write from dictation, summarize written text. And essay is like if you write basic structure and words, then you can cross if your other questions are correct. Like if you score well in fill in the blanks and WFD and you have a basic level of essay, you can cross 79.
Yes.
And for reading contributes from read aloud, fill in the blanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I have not missed anything here.
Yeah.
Multiple choice questions are peanuts. I'm telling you. Actually. But yes,
Okay.
and less time there. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. Multiple choice
Okay.
questions does not carry a lot of weightage.
For
Yeah.
listening also means skip means do it faster so that you don't miss WFD. So if you miss even one, you will not cross 79. So
Exactly.
some
Exactly.
people spend a lot of time in multiple choice questions. So if we waste time there, we may miss WFD, which is the last question.
Right. Right. So in
So
listening section,
yeah,
it's very, very important that you pace your listening section properly.
yeah, this is what
Very,
I
very
want.
important to get that last set of questions. Even if you miss one question, forget about getting 79. All right. So, Abhinav is asking in repeat sentence, if for any question I am not clear, can I leave it? If yes, how much impact that would have on that section? Abhinav, in repeat sentence, so you can be like 60-70% accurate for lengthy sentences. For short and medium, I'm assuming that you will get 100% or maybe 90% accuracy. But it's not good to skip any question, especially because repeat sentence is a high weightage question. Don't skip questions that carries a lot of weightage. Okay.
The question, you scored 90, but what if the target is minimum 79 to 80 only?
You should
So
not
my
keep the
target,
target as 79, 80.
yeah. So it's a borderline target.
Hmm.
So if you target for 89, then you will get 80 maybe. I also thought I'll get 80. So it's like, what should I say for this?
Yeah, I mean that's what. So yes, the point here is that you should try to get the perfect score. So if you try to keep that as your target, chances are very high that you will cross 80%. They are, what about reorder paragraph and highlight correct summary? How important are they?
Highlight correct summary is important, yes. I mean, they are all important. I would not say they are very less important. I mean, the most important I have already told you.
Hmm?
These are also important. So we can't say we'll skip and we will do it incorrectly. So best is that we should focus on all questions, do it
Exactly.
perfectly, so that we can cross our target 79 plus.
Correct.
So sometimes we may be wrong in the important questions, then these will help you in getting your score.
Okay, precisely the point. Yes. So, especially if you are someone who is targeting for 79 plus, you're only talking about 11-point difference from getting the perfect score. Understood? So, so you should not take any questions lightly. You have to give maximum importance to. You have to anyways give maximum importance to all these important question types that Samita pointed out. But you should not take any other questions lightly. So I will request others also to ask questions. So we have A lot of people over here. So there are a lot of people who are, so there are only few people who are consistently asking questions. So we have Jyoti, Anita. Better to go for elimination method to strike out 11. Okay, so yeah, so you see multiple choice questions, single answer questions, multiple choice, multiple answer question. Elimination technique is a very useful technique. So you can really use that to, maybe, um, I mean, you try to eliminate one or two choices. So you are basically increasing the chances that you get the right answer. Now, this is something that I don't see anyone asking, but I am very sure that this is a question that most of you will have. Reading, fill in the blank, and reading and writing, fill in the blank. So, what exactly was your strategy here? So,
I think it was more practice and
okay.
reading few books, because these are all related to vocabulary, grammar, collocations. So the more you read, the more you'll get these questions. I think this is the basic English which is
Correct.
required for RF, reading fill in blank, and reading and writing is also about vocabulary more.
Yeah,
So
vocabulary, grammar, collocation.
grammar, yeah. So
Yeah.
I did a lot of practice here.
Okay.
Practice.
So basically, this is practice and also read. So what exactly? What are the kind of articles you read? Novels? You read articles? What exactly was it?
Reading was my habit since my
Okay.
college
Yeah.
days.
So
So that's
that.
the reason. Yeah.
So basically, you didn't have to struggle a lot in these question types. Basically. Anita, I'm listening to great. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, Samira, how to get started? So someone, so like Anita has pointed out, so she is yet to start.
Yet to start the preparation.
Yep.
Mm, so diagnostic test is the first thing to do. PT
Okay.
diagnostic test, so that you can get to know your weak areas, where you are
Mhm.
lacking and where you are stronger. So
Okay.
where you are strong, you should focus and maintain those questions so that you don't get less marks there. And for weaker sections, yes, you have to practice and get advice from
Mhm.
experts so that you can excel in those. So this is what I did, and I practiced a lot, number of questions, all the question types. I also enjoyed it. So maybe it's
Ah,
the interest which I had in doing all the questions right was also the factor which brought me this thing.
right, right. So so the one thing that I want to tell you at this point is that Samita, the good thing about Samita was that she, kind of understood the fun element in it. So after a certain point, she kind of started enjoying doing these questions. If, whether it is repeat sentence or essays or SSTs or whatever. So if you get to that point, then you won't have any sort of exam fear. You won't have any sort of anxiety issues. Anything. You are 100% prepared then. But even if you have slightest of doubt in any of the question types, then it means that it's not really good. What about personal intro? So you have a personal introduction in the initial segment, right? So
Yeah, nothing much about that. It is not scored. So you can
yeah,
just say about yourself, what do you do, what is your profession, and why are you taking this exam, what is your target. So nothing much in that. It doesn't matter. It's actually for the universities where you will be going to apply after the exam.
correct, correct. That matters. That matters for students. Basically, it will be sent to the university as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
For
again,
that reason, I don't know what to say.
correct. Yeah. So if you just need to tell in your natural voice, that's it. That okay, this is your name. Your name is so and so. You are doing this. and you're taking PT so that you want to get into Stanford University, or you're doing PT so that you can get a PR. Keep it very simple and short. That's it. It is not taken into account for grading, so don't even worry about it too much. But it matters a lot because that's the first thing that you do, on the test day. So basically, you should be calm. Takeaway from Samita is be cool and give the exam. Exactly. The other thing that I want to ask you is, see, all these mock tests, official mock tests, whether it is Fountainhead test mock test or official mock tests, all of these mock tests you took at home, right? Samita?
Yeah.
Yeah, so all these mock tests that you were talking about, Fountainhead prep mock test or official mock test, all these you were taking at home, right?
Yeah.
So what was the difference, when you went for the actual test and when you were taking at home?
Difference.
Difference as in the test center, there will be people sitting next to you.
You're talking about the real exam.
Real exam.
Yeah. In the real exam, there are a lot of distractions in speaking. So there are a lot of people who are also speaking their own sections, and they're louder. So here you have to be focused on your exam. Your mic will only listen to what you say, not others.
Exactly.
And keep your so you have to be very focused at that time. Just see what you are saying and be louder. When you're louder, um, you are more focused on your side. So because you will listen to yourself rather than others.
Very good point. So yeah, so this is the reason why I'm asking you this question is there are a lot of students who get nervous, especially when the people sitting next to them are like really confident. It kind of affects the mental stability at that particular point.
Yeah,
We
being loud
might
is important.
being loud, yes. So we might tend it's very tempting to think that okay, the other person is so loud, why it is not happening for me. So all these questions sort of runs around in your mind. So it's better to focus completely on your attempt, and it's better if you can speak louder.
Speaking loud is important for your speaking score also.
Right.
It contributes the pronunciation confidence.
Right.
So when you're, and please don't scream. It has to be accurate.
Right.
The volume.
Right. So the loudness to the point that the other person feels confident. For example, in natural setting, if you are really confident, then naturally your voice level will be loud. It's not like you're screaming or anything.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Mock tests.
So mock test you had attempted available on it. So you only did FHP mock test and official mock test.
Yeah.
Okay.
So FHP mock tests are around 12 in total. And there are other official mock tests also on ptpractice.com.
Do you think giving 20-30 full length mock tests will help?
I can't hear you properly.
Yeah. So do you think giving 20-30 full length mock tests will help? Just giving 20-30 full length mock tests.
20-30, just giving? No. First, give one mock test, get it evaluated, know your weak areas, work on those questions, then attempt another.
Right. So based on your experience, what do you think is reasonable count of number of mock tests that one should attempt?
It depends on their level of English, but usually means practicing 4-5 mock tests with your with all the other question type, focusing on others, and one official mock test, one can clear the exam. But depending upon their ability to grab and because I did a lot. I did all the 12 plus all the officials. So it again depends how much they can quickly learn and implement in the exam.
Right. Right. All right. So other questions? So I think we talked about pretty much all the sections, right? Speaking, writing, reading, listening, even listening as well. And we also addressed the exam anxiety issues and test center, test day. You know, these are the things that could happen. So be prepared for it. So I think we have pretty much covered everything. So if you don't have any more questions, we will wind up the session in another 10-15 minutes. So please feel free to ask questions. How much can I understand my current level from the diagnostic test? Okay, so Samita, I remember you mentioning when, you know, initially when you attempted the diagnostic test, before that also you gave some tests, right? Some,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so what was that experience as in,
Means you're talking about my previous PT experience 4-5 years back?
four,
What?
5 years
I
back?
could not understand your question right now.
Right, so Nitin is asking how much can I understand my current level from the diagnostic test. So I think, you know, maybe what he's asking is how much accurate is the current level that you get from the diagnostic test.
No,
Is
from the
that
diagnostic test, you will get to know your each and every question level. Like
yeah,
from FHP, if you give your diagnostic test, first you will get your score in each and every section, and also in all the questions, which are good, which are weak.
right,
Yeah, so you will get to know everything about it with that diagnostic level.
right. So does that answer your question, Nitin? Okay, so any more questions? Abhinav, Vanita, Chandan, Daya, Jyoti, Dhanshri, Vallinayagam. Okay, Chandan is good. How much you scored at first? At first, as in
Diagnostic or what?
diagnostic or first real attempt? PT real. I think she already mentioned that initially. It was overall score of 80 plus, but there were few sections in which she scored less than that, I guess.
Wait, let me
Yeah,
just try.
we have it here.
I wrote it. Yeah.
Okay.
Workflow. What's that workflow? Preparation workflow.
I think this is already discussed that she took the diagnostic test and then get all this. Did it. Okay, did you practice essay writing every day?
No, I didn't.
Because she was already good at essay. We will have another session next week where you will see. I mean, he also got Aditya. He also got 19 on. So there, he will share his essay writing experience a bit more because from his starting level to the level that he got finally, he practiced a lot. Okay, so Valinayagam is asking how can I improve the dictation part in listening?
Okay, you joined late or because I told about
Yeah. So this is already discussed, Valinayakam. So I will share the recording, so you'll be able to see the answer to that question. So I think if you can see the questions, number of questions that we have got around repeat sentence and right from dictation.
Yeah.
So it's something that a lot of people are worried about. So one thing that you can assure yourself is that you are not alone. Okay, so it's a common thing that everyone goes through. Repeat sentence and right from dictation is something that a lot of people find difficult. But you will have to improve that section. A couple of strategies that Samida already mentioned. Plus, you will also have to understand whether that strategy really works for you, because there isn't a universal strategy that works for everyone. So it's that you practice and kind of understand, okay, this is the best way in which I can, get more than 80% accuracy in one sentence. All right. So I think if you don't have any more questions, we will wind up the session. So thank you so much, Samida, for taking time out.
Thank you. Thank you, Mal, for everything.
And thank you guys for joining the session. So you've asked a really relevant questions, and I think it's useful for others also. I think Samida's kid is there, so I think we should we should really wind up the session now.
Thank you, Mahesh. Bye-bye.
All right, Samida. Thank you, guys. So we'll wind up the session. I will send across the recording. So if you have any questions, please, feel free to. Yeah, thank you so much. So please feel free to ask. You know my number, so you can always reach out to me. So, all right. So let's wind up.